biggest loss for each year for Real Madrid from 2025 straight down to 2013. So we start off with 2025, this current year. And I think we can all agree it is that loss in the very beginning of the year against Barcelona 5-2, an embarrassment. It's still an embarrassment because Real Madrid still have not gotten a single bit of revenge against Barcelona. A 5-2 loss in a cup final. They destroyed us in every way, shape and form. Not to mention the struggles we had after that match. And the momentum that we have given Barcelona because they are still, even in this month of March, still performing. So that 5-2 loss did a lot of damage, and that no doubt biggest loss of 2025. 2024, guess what? Nothing has changed. It's yet again Barcelona. In the exact same season, Barcelona beat us 4-0 as well, but this one I think might be worse because this was 4-0 at the Bernabeu. And this one I think truly was worse than the 5-2 loss because it's a bigger scoreline, a bigger embarrassment. We had Kylian Mbappe, Vinny Jr., Rodrigo, Bellingham all on that same pitch. And Yamal, a 17-year-old, dunked on Real Madrid and then still did Ronaldo, who is our greatest player in history. He did Ronaldo's calmer celebration, and I mean that was a humbling experience. I would not want to relive that time. 2023, it's not Barcelona, but it is a guy that used to coach Barcelona, Pep Guardiola, Manchester City. They destroyed us like crazy in our own competition, the competition that we always win. Manchester City destroyed us in. And I mean, let's be honest, they won the Champions League that season. Ancelotti didn't know what was going on. Vinny, Benzema, they had no clue what was going on. We got absolutely battered, and that's the worst loss for 2023. So for 2022, a Champions League winning season, and overall, a very good season for Real Madrid. But guess who we lost to? Guess who the biggest loss was against? It was Barcelona. We're gonna say Barcelona a lot on this list, because even at their worst, they still beat us at the Bernabeu by 4-0. Now the way I look at this game is, it's not canon. Now for those of you guys that watch TV shows, watch stories, you will know the phrase canon and non-canon. To me, I don't think this is canon, because as you can see, they were wearing a yellow kit, we were wearing a black kit. So it doesn't look like the normal Barcelona against the Madrid matches. So to me, this match doesn't count, but it was the biggest loss of 2022. 2021, this is in the exact same season as the 2022 loss. But this one was at the beginning of the season. This was in the Champions League. And to me, the most embarrassing loss was against Sheriff. They came to the Bernabeu, they saw, and they absolutely shocked the world. They won 2-1. And from here, everyone was making fun of Real Madrid. Everyone was laughing at Real Madrid. And I think that's what makes Real Madrid winning the Champions League such a big deal. Because it's not the fact that they beat City, Chelsea, PSG, Liverpool. I think the fact that we lost to Sheriff and still went on to win the Champions League, I think that is a great testament to how much of a miracle 2022 was. 2020, a weird year for football, pandemic year, and to me, biggest loss, I think we can all agree here, the 3-1 loss to Manchester City, in which they knocked us out yet again from the Champions League. And overall, it was a bad performance. Varane, what the hell was he doing? I think that is when the fans turned on Varane because of how poor he was in that game. He cost us that game, and that's the worst loss for 2020. 2019, one of the worst years to be a Real Madrid fan. We lost Cristiano, we brought in some of the worst signings in history, and then we got dunked out to the Copa del Rey by Barcelona. We got dunked out to the Champions League by Ajax, and that's what I'm going with. The 4-1 loss to Ajax. This one, the damage this did to our club, the damage this did to the fan base is insane. The amount of people that suddenly stop being Real Madrid fans after this match is insane, truly. Biggest loss of 2018. This was a successful year for Real Madrid, but we also have to take into account we lost 5-1 to Barcelona. Now this one was in the same season as the Ajax loss, but this one was terrible. It was at the Camp Nou. Suarez was having a ball of a time. Coutinho, all of these players were enjoying themselves against Real Madrid. And that is a match that doesn't get talked about in this current day. That loss, it was just a bad loss overall. Worst loss for 2018. 2017 also a very successful year for Real Madrid. But I would say the team was more unstoppable in this time. And we were on our way to win the league, in which we did. We won the Champions League as well. But that 3-2 loss at the Bernabeu against Barcelona, in which, listen, I'm a Ronaldo fan, but Messi owned Real Madrid in 2017. Now granted, they didn't win the Champions League, they didn't win the league, but they did beat Real Madrid, in which Messi, scored 2 goals. He scored that 93rd minute goal, in which he took his shirt off, showed it to the Bernabeu. That was an ice cold moment. I hate saying that, but it was ice cold. And that's the worst loss for 2017. Now 2016 is a tough one. I don't remember the team losing in 2016. And if you guys in the comment section can tell me, when did we ever lose in 2016? I think this was the time in which the team went on a good unbeaten streak. And therefore I don't think there was any big losses in 2016. 2015. This one, there were a couple of bad losses. The one against Juventus, but I'm not gonna go with that. I'm gonna go with another Barcelona defeat, in which they didn't even have Messi on the pitch. Let me tell you something. That Suarez, that Neymar, prime Neymar. Guys, this version of Neymar, scary. They battered Real Madrid, they destroyed Real Madrid. Another 4-0. It seems like their favorite thing to do is just whack Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, and that's what they did. Worst loss for 2015. So 2014, I'm gonna go with the loss against Barcelona. And listen, I know this is about the 15th or 100th time I've said Barcelona, but this was a 4-3 loss in which they robbed Real Madrid so bad. I believe this was the Nogueira time. The way the referees used to work back then was so questionable. Very, very questionable. They got about 2 penalties that they shouldn't have gotten. To me, Real Madrid was a better team. They should have won the match. But due to those 2 penalties, Neymar dived. They gave Sergio Ramos a red card for a dive. But that no doubt, worst loss for 2014. And then 2013, we're gonna end this off with Borussia Dortmund, in which they went into the Champions League final. Lewandowski, their team was insane in 2013, and they beat us 4-1. We had no answers. They destroyed us, and that was the worst loss for 2013. And that's just my opinions. You guys feel free to disagree with anything I said here. If you did agree, tell me in the comment section that you agreed, and also smash a like on the video if you enjoyed. But peace out.